Acknowledge, Sergeant.
What's going on, comrades? I hope you are doing great, whatever time of the day it is, whatever time of the night it is, whatever you're doing. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're smashing, killing it, whatever you're doing, giving it your best. And thanks for tuning in to another one of my wacky videos. What's running right here is some Battlefield 1. It's a very interesting offensive operations on the map Argonne Forest. And I'm playing as a special type of medic, which I did make a video about on my last channel. But in a nutshell, the basis behind what I'm doing here is to not kill any enemies and to only focus on taking care of my teammates as a medic. Most of the time when I do this, I do use the syringe, but I decided to kind of swap it up some. I swapped up what was already a really weird thing to do, I know, but it's actually really fun. And if you still play Battlefield, it doesn't even have to be Battlefield 1, any Battlefield, I encourage you to try it, but only if you're objective minded and you don't really care about your KD, because of course doing this, getting 0 kills is not good for your KD. Now I'm sure some of you watching this are probably like, Delta, what the hell is this? What are you doing? You're ruining the game, you're messing it up for your teammates, this and that. And if you think that, that's okay. I encourage you to watch to the end of the video. Don't spoil it, don't click ahead. Just watch along to the end of the video, and then you can make your decision on whether what I was doing was worth it or not. So today I'm going to be explaining my thought process behind making this video, and then I'm going to be talking a little bit about the topic, the title, as I'm sure you see, which is perspective and just how much it matters. So this video is going to be a little bit of a different pace as any of my previous videos, but as with anything that I make, I'm hoping that you can take something positive away from it. So mostly for categorization purposes for myself, I came up with the word GLOG. It doesn't really roll off the tongue very well. GLOG to classify these types of videos. GLOG, of course, being a spin-off of the word vlog, and they're just gonna be any topic that I like to give my opinion on, or something that I want to get off my chest. And with that being said, they may end up being a little ranty or preachy, but don't worry, I'm not gonna be like screaming fire and brimstone at you or anything.
You hypocrite, you spineless, you know what? You don't have enough sense to poke piss out of a boot.
Not all of my vlogs will be as serious as this one, but for my more serious ones, I like to point something out. Sometimes that thing that you need can come from any place. Think of it like this. You're in some kind of a mood, so you decide to listen to some music on shuffle, and that one song that you really needed to hear comes on. And when that song comes on, it might not fix everything, but it sure as heck makes things a lot better, right? Whether you believe in fate or luck, I want to have the chance to be the source that you hear or see, that thing that everybody just needs sometimes. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes you've already come across it and you just needed to get it from another source for it to click. I also want to make note that just because me or anybody in general, just because anybody's giving advice on something doesn't mean that they are a master or a guru. Sometimes the best advice doesn't come from people who have overcome their problems, but from the ones who are still in the trenches, figuring out ways to deal with them. And don't worry, that's not like a subliminal SOS or anything. I'm gonna try not to overlap here. There are several other topics that I would like to talk about sometime that are similar, but perspective just covers so many things in life. And when I was thinking about some points that I'd like to make, I just really realized how much perspective comes into play. So Delta, what do you mean by perspective is everything? What I mean by that is it's all about the mindset that you have. That's what it's all about. I'm sure you've heard of the saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. And it's one of my favorite sayings because it's often true. I want you to take a second and be honest with yourself and reflect on how many times you looked at something from the outside and wanted to be a part of it. It could be anything. It could be you wanting to join a school or college. It could be you wanting to have a certain vehicle, a certain car. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you finally got there and it wasn't nearly as peachy as you thought it would be. Now, I don't know about you, but for me personally, anytime I'm kind of psyching myself up about something, or I'm getting a little too anxious about anything, that happens more often than not. I'll even go further than that to say that sometimes you get to that place or that point and you don't like it as much as where you were before. This is just one of the things that I try to pay attention to on a daily basis or on a regular basis to kind of try and help keep myself in the right place mentally. And I hope that makes sense. If you think about it, if like 80% of the time you were wishing your life would be one way, and I mean you're putting all your bets, all your faith in it, you're like, hey, once I get this car, my life is going to be straight. Once I get this job, once I get this money, everything is going to be great. And when you get there, you still aren't satisfied. That's just not right to me. Something about that just isn't right to me. I don't believe that that's the way we should live. Now, once again, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect individual by any stretch, and not to go for anybody's throat here, but I don't come across many people who are genuinely okay with where they are in life. Now, before you go berserk, don't get me wrong, there is a difference between being inert and being content. In fact, that line is very, very thin, and that might be another topic for another video, but my point is, there is nothing wrong with being happy with where you are in life. It's just a fact that you're never going to be in this pristine place where everything is just perfect. If you feel like you can't be happy with where you are until you've completed or you're done with X, Y, and Z, you'll never be happy. You'll never be content because there's always going to be an X, Y, and Z. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like life is just too fragile and unpredictable to not enjoy where you are, to not be happy. You know what I mean? I'm going to share with you a little something that recently happened to me, kind of as an example. So for those who don't know, I work for Uncle Sam's Army, and I'm currently stationed in the Middle East. I have a buddy who I went through AIT with, which is after basic training, and we both ended up in the Middle East. For obvious reasons, the Middle East isn't necessarily the most favorable location in general, especially for a duty station. We tell most people where we were going when we were in AIT, and they grimace, they'd look at us sideways, they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry for you, I'm sorry that you're going to this place. We ended up in 2 different locations, and at face value, his location is less desirable than where I am. For example, he has a less nice PX, which is kind of like a Walmart for a military base, kind of a general store. They don't have any real barracks and etc. The list goes on. He stopped by here where I am before going on leave back to the United States for a while, and he was just blown away by how many more things were on my base than his. Now keep in mind, this place where my buddy is just like losing it because there's so much stuff, this is the same place that I had people saying sorry to me when I would tell them that I was getting stationed here. That really just stood out to me. It really struck a chord. I'm sure you've also heard of the saying, You never know what you had until you lose it or until it's gone. Now, with that statement, I disagree with it strongly. When you make a conscious effort to adopt something like keeping an open perspective of life, I promise you, situations like this, like the one I just told you about, will stand out to you like a sore thumb. Not only that, when they come up, you can capitalize on reminding yourself. You can learn to appreciate things more while they exist and be thankful that you had them if they're no longer present. Being 100% honest with you, I've had my fair share of people in my life who have asked, hey, Delta, how are you so positive? Or they'll say something like, I don't hear you complain much, even at times when people would consider it warranted to complain. I was at Subway the other day and the worker messed up my order. I didn't say a word to him. And my buddy kind of whispered to me when we left the store. He was like, yo, dude, most people would have raged out. This is why this entire video, this topic, everything that I'm talking about here is why. Perspective. As I'm sitting there watching the guy mess up my sandwich, I think to myself, look, I'm not allergic to anything he's putting on this sandwich. And really, I'm just glad to have food at this point. There's a lot of people out there who don't have anything to eat at all. This whole thing is not about being a devil's advocate. It's not about just saying, oh, on the bright side, because we all know that person. And that's not my kind of person either. That's not what I'm saying this is about. This is about building up a mindset that can allow you to genuinely see things differently and be more content by realizing what you actually have. Once you are able to change your perspective, maybe walk in someone else's shoes, so to speak, for a time, just to kind of clear your mind and look at your life from a different point of view, you can quickly realize just how easily someone else can wish that they had it like you do. Your situation can always be worse. On the reverse, you can realize that you have a lot of growing to do. Your situation can always be better. And this goes for so many other things as well. I hope that I didn't scare you with this video. Being that you're still watching right now and listening to me, you obviously aren't too off put by it, but it's something that I want to do very often. Like I said earlier, not all of my vlogs will be this serious, but I want my videos to be more than just gaming or silliness. I want to use my channel as a platform not only to help you, but also help me vent/open up, like I said in my first video. This might sound weird, but I'm a pretty weird person, so I guess it's fitting. But there's some things that I feel more comfortable talking about behind the mic, behind some gameplay, than I would talking to anybody in person. So yeah, I definitely like to see what you think about perspective or vlogs in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this kind of more personal, longer style of commentary and the Hacksaw Ridge medic gameplay, is probably the best way to describe that, leaving a thumbs up will let me know and help this video reach other awesome people like yourself who might need to hear this message as well. To see more of my content, make sure you've hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right beside it, which will let you know when I upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you come back sometime.